Welcome into the Blount County Coaches Corner, and today our stop finds us in downtown Cleveland and the Cleveland Panthers, and we have the head coach of the Cleveland Panthers, Coach Will Glaze. Coach, you're going into, I believe it's your third year now? Fourth year. Time to get away from us. And you've had success at times, and you struggle a little bit at times, but I see some young folks coming up. It all kind of seems to go in cycles in Blount County, and I believe you're trending up to a good cycle coming up for the Panthers. Talk a little bit about this year's team, maybe some of the things you've done this summer to get ready for this upcoming year, and then we'll talk a little bit about some of your players.
Yeah, really going back to December for us is when we really start our off-season program, and the kids have done phenomenal with it. You know, at small schools, we've got to share athletes. I mean, they're in other sports, they're in basketball, they're in baseball, they're in track. And they're not complaining. You know, they show up every morning that we have it. We've been doing it 4 days a week at 6 a.m. And, you know, they just really attacked the off season, which I really needed them to do. And they really took ownership of that. And, you know, that was the biggest thing moving into the spring. And then we had a spring game against Aniana and did really well in that game, had a lot of positives, and had a really good summer. Hosted a 7-on-7. We had 8 teams total, counting us here in June in our new facility, and then we did our OTA at the Wells Duva Corner High School. So really good summer attendance, really good practices. We've gotten a lot stronger as well, which has been really key to us. And like you said, still, you know, we're trying to get out of that valley, and we're still young. We've only got 5 seniors on the team as a whole. Still asking a lot of sophomores, a lot of juniors that are now 2- and 3-year starters to be those guys along with the seniors. So I'm excited about this season. Last year for us, it started off, you know, really exciting, beating Whitesburg Christian Central on the last play of the game. And they come here to start the season, but it's been a really, really good off season for us so far.
Well, and you touched on the new football facility. They have a new, that was tough getting going, but once you got it and finished, you got a brand new stadium. You got all kind of renovations done in your locker room. It's a beautiful place. It's a beautiful setting, and I know that has got to give the kids a little bit of extra skip to get along, as I know it means a lot to this community.
For sure.
When you think about Cleveland, it's a great community, great people. I was fortunate enough to be a school board member here for years and loved it, and was able to do a lot of great things, and I love to see the progress as we continue to improve our facilities around the county. And the pride here, I played for a state championship just a few years ago, and just a lot of good things going on, and now to be able to build that. And building that, you got to have good players. Talk about some of the good players that you've got this year that's going to have to be leaders for you.
Well, a couple of seniors that Logan Branham, he's now a senior, and he'll end up being the 4-year starter. He was a freshman when I got here. He started his freshman year. He's been first team All-County as a sophomore and as a junior. You know, we're expecting a lot out of him. He's one of those guys, he won't come off the field. I'll see him at pregame, halftime, and postgame. Hayden Gerlot is another senior that won't come off the field. The other...
He's a good athlete.
He is.
Really, I was impressed with him in the spring game.
He did really well. You know, what he adds to it is a running dynamic as well, which in high school football, you want to be able to have a kid, a quarterback that can do both. And we've had that the last couple of years too. So Silas Stevenson's another senior, Jaden Henry and Gabe Back. So those are our 5 seniors. They'll all play. 3 might not even come off the field that much, counting Silas. And then that junior class, there's only 7, but it's a really strong class with kids named Arturo Soto, who will not come off the field, Denver McAnally. My mind just went blank.
That's okay.
But Eric Cervantes, Cesar Nunez, and then the sophomore group, Eli Escobedo, you know, Trent Box. There's some sophomores, 5 or 6 that'll have to start for us too. We're really counting on that top 15 for us. They've got to do it. You know, those 15 kids, they've got to kind of be anything and everything for us. Owen Wisenant, Christian Henry, Kenny Goebel, those are all sophomores and juniors. So, but you know, it really starts with your older kids, and those juniors really are leaders as well because they've been 3-year starters. So, you know, Logan, Hayden, Turo, Eric, Denver, and Silas, those kids have kind of got to be the bell cows for us and everything.
Well, and when you think about those kids that you knew were going to be leaders, is there anybody that's maybe been a young person that maybe the Panthers hadn't seen a lot of playing time out of in the past, but you're going to have to depend on this year?
Not really. The ones that, if you've been watching us the last couple of years, take these licks from everybody around us, it's still those kids. They might look different. You might say, yeah, you might say, well, I don't remember that kid looking like that, and that will be the case for a handful of kids. But these sophomores, juniors, and seniors, you've seen them. These sophomores, a lot didn't have to necessarily play last year as freshmen on Friday nights, but they got our junior high program turned around. My first 2 years here on junior high, we went 1-4 and 0-7, and then last year we went 6-1. And we're in a three-way tie to play in the county championship and lost a coin flip for that. So kids like Eli Escobedo, Trent Box, those sophomores that you might not have seen other than Monday nights, they're going to have to help on Friday nights as well. So it's a lot of the same kids that you've seen. Hopefully people just look at us and think we look different in terms of how we're playing this year.
And then you got a pretty tough region. You got Southeastern's the defending champion, and a lot of that had to do because you had Coosa that got disqualified.
Right.
Coosa's got one of the most talented teams in the state of Alabama, Susan Moore. They won a playoff game last year and had a great season. Then you got some Faultville and Cold Springs, I think West End. When you add all that, that's a really tough region. Talk about what it's going to take. Because I know your goal is getting the playoffs.
For sure.
What is it going to? You talk about that region first of all, and what's going to take to get in the playoffs.
Yeah, I mean, other than ties, which can play into it as well, you've got to think in a 7-team region, you got to win 3 region games. And like you said, that's easier said than done. There's some good football teams in it. I think 3 through 6, you can kind of put a blanket over. I could be wrong about that, and the 3 seed may be way ahead of other people, and that might be us, it might be somebody else. But I feel like 3 through 6, maybe even 3 through 7, they're separated by a touchdown or 2. And it really comes down to how you play that night. And like you said, Coosa, based on the ruling now, is eligible to be in the postseason this upcoming year. They've got a really good team. And like you said, Southeastern has 14 seniors this year, is what Coach Bird said at Media Day. And Susan Moore has a good team coming back, and both of them have had playoff success here recently. So it's going to take a lot of focus and a lot of execution from us. I'm not asking my guys to ever be perfect. But on Friday night, they've got to out-execute the guy in front of them to have a chance to win. And if we do that enough, we will have a chance to make the playoffs.
And I think you've added some folks to your coaching staff this year, but you got basically a lot of it intact. That has to make you feel good.
It does.
Talk about your staff a little.
Yeah, we got Coach Keith Register that's been the head coach of Fultondale and Hayden the last 21 years, been Hayden the last 12. He's over here coaching offensive and defensive line and kind of heading up our special teams. Great guy, really good coach, a huge resource for me, being the head coach for now 4 years to bounce a lot of ideas off of with anything you could think of with somebody that's been a head coach for over 2 decades. And Coach Murphy's still the defense coordinator. He does a tremendous job in the weight room for us, too. He kind of heads that up for me in there. But yeah, Matt Pelt coaches my quarterbacks and helps in the secondary. Awesome guy, really good coach, Cleveland grad. Austin King helps as well. He helps receivers, DBs. He's a Hayden grad. Coach Drew Rogers, head baseball coach. You know him very well, being a Locust Fork guy.
Well, he was a heck of a player in his day, and tough, and just a great guy, and a new dad too.
Yep, he is. He is.
He'll get the real dose of reality this year.
Yeah, but I've got, there's only 3 of us, and Coach Register is one of them because he's originally from Florida. There's only 3 of us on my staff that are non-Blount County grads. I've got 3 Cleveland grads with Coach Pelt and Coach Murphy, and then Coach Hathcock came over here this year from Appalachian. So it's a really great coaching staff. Coach Creel's been here. He obviously heads up our track as well, and they've had a lot of success. But they're all tremendous men, tremendous coaches, tremendous leaders and role models for our kids. So, yeah, I love this coaching staff for sure.
Well, there's no doubt Cleveland is a great school, and I say that about all our county schools, but we are fortunate in Blount County to have great schools. The people in Cleveland are fantastic. This is a great school. Got good leadership and just good people. And I think there's an air of excitement around this year because, every team in Blount County goes through cycles, and they feel like the youth is coming up, and they feel a movement, and they feel like the tide is turning, so to speak, and I really believe that there's some great days ahead here at Cleveland, and you're doing a good job, and I certainly appreciate you. We wish you and the Panthers good luck, and we will have Coach's Corner throughout the year, not a video every time, but we'll have Coach's Corner each week on Thursdays and Fridays, and I look forward to those, and hopefully there'll be a bunch of wins this year.
Yes, sir. Well, I appreciate everything y'all do, and thanks for having me today.
Well, good luck to you, Coach,
Thank you,
on
sir.
this upcoming season.
Thank you.
We'll be back with more coaches on the Coach's Corner, only on WCRL.
Custom, precise, and built tough. That's the only way we do it at 2M Welding and Fabrication. We bring your vision to life exactly how you want it. From handrails and gates to trailers and structural projects. If it's metal, we make it custom. That's why we're one of the fastest growing fabricators in the industry. Built to match your standards and exceed expectations. Learn more and see our work at 2mweldingandfab.com. 2M Welding and Fabrication. Built 2M Tough.